everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Katie, and today we are going to be talking about our mid-month wrap-up for March. So I don't have any physical books with me. They were either due when we were on vacation last week, so I had to return them, or I listened to the audiobook. So I have my list of books. I don't have any physical copies, well, except for one, but I just left that downstairs. Okay, so as far as star ratings go, I had 3 books that I did not finish. Should probably take off my paper. I have, 1 1-star, 2 2-stars, 3 3-stars, 3 4-stars, and 1 5-star. So I finished a total of 10 books this month, and that's so far. This is only the middle of March. I forgot this is not a end of the month wrap up, but I decided to take from example from Krista over at Books at Jams and Amanda at the Curly Reader, and do a mid-month wrap up for this month since I'm already at 10 books. So the wrap ups will be a little bit shorter for you all. They won't be 40 minutes long. Hopefully not. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about the books I DNF'd this month. So the first one was Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. I got about a third of the way through, and I just found it not really what I liked. It was very slow paced. I know it is kind of pretty much like almost a nonfiction, I believe, based on her life, but it just really wasn't for me. And it just wasn't for me. And that's okay, because honestly, I'd rather just decide not to finish it and start books that I know I will enjoy a lot more. So the second book that I DNF'd was The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak, and I thought I was gonna really love this one, but I watched the movie last year, and it was honestly surprisingly pretty boring for me. I don't remember much about the movie at all, and the book honestly was about the same. I think I listened to about an hour of it on audio, and I just was not invested in the characters and stuff, but that's okay. You know, we each have different opinions, and if we don't like a book, then never feel pressured to finish a book that you're not enjoying. There's no reason to, just have fun with it. And then the last book that I DNF'd was The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. I was kind of interested in this story, but it started having a lot of language like in the middle of the book, and so I was like, I'm starting not to enjoy it, and I really wasn't that much invested in the story to continue with it, so I decided to just DNF that one, and I actually found some really good books this month that I am now going to talk about. Well, we're going to start with the 1-star, which was only one, thankfully, and that was Ms. Marvel by G. Willow Wilson and Adrienne Alfona, and it was a YA superhero graphic novel. I'm not very good at reading graphic novels. I love comic books, and I love like middle grade graphic novels, but YA ones I just don't seem to enjoy as much, and this one was no exception for me, unfortunately. So this is about Ms. Marvel. She is I believe she was from Saudi Arabia, I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong where she is from, but she kind of is an ordinary girl, but she wants to make some extraordinary changes. And so she meets the part of the superhero league with Captain Marvel and Iron Man, and she's like, I want to be a superhero. She kind of becomes like Captain Marvel when she was a teenager, I guess. So it wasn't really a very unique story, kind of taking from a already created superhero and kind of doing a spin-off of that. So yeah, it was okay, but I didn't really like it. Well, I think I only read it because it was for a prompt that, what was the prompt for? It was for, I think it was for the Hugo Awards, and it was to read one, and that was the shortest one on the list that I might have been kind of interested in reading, and no, it just wasn't for me. Okay, on to 2-stars. So I read the middle grade March monthly book, which was Pony by R.J. Palacio. She's the author of Wonder as well. I think I gave Wonder 3 or 4 stars. And I gave Pony 2 stars. It was almost 3, but I felt it was very, very slow. So it is about this boy whose father ends up being kind of kidnapped by these kind of outlaw men, and he is taken from their home. And so he is I believe he's 11 or 12, and he and his ghost friend, he's known since pretty much he was born, and a pony that happens to just wander onto his farm, they go and try to find his father, and they meet a kind of cranky old man along the way and a couple of not so nice men and some nice people along the way. So it was okay. I give it 2 stars. I definitely liked Wonder more from the same author. I might be interested in reading more of her books when they come out, but so far that one was a 2 star. So we'll see. We'll see what she comes up with next. And then the last 2 star that I had was The Library of Ever by Zeno Alexander. And I thought I was going to love this one because I love anything to do with library and books and everything. But this one, there was just so much happening in one book. Like, it's about this girl who she comes into a library just as a patron of the library, and all of a sudden she ends up with a job working at the library. Like, I don't even think we really know like how she got the job. Like, here, do you want a job? Here you go, pretty much. So she travels to like all these far off places, but the far off places, like, you're only there for maybe 5 pages, and then bam, you're in another location. And it was just so much going on. And it is a duology so far. I don't know if there's going to be any more books, but I don't think I plan on continuing the series, as there was just too much going on, too many things happening. And I think it was definitely more geared toward younger middle grade versus older middle grade. So that one only got 2 stars. Okay, on to 3 stars. I read a Choose Your Own Adventure book, which I do still love those so much. I read The Jungle Safari by Edward Packard, and it is it second person? I believe it's in second person. It's like the you go here, you go there type of stories. But it was cute. It was fun. It takes you through a jungle safari where you might meet dangerous animals. First path, I did not survive. I don't do very good in those books. I think I take a good path and I don't, but I really do try to read the entire book and not just the first path. So I tend to keep my fingers in each section. So I do go back to like the last choice, make all the choices, and then go back and work my way through. So I end up reading the entire book, and it's a lot of fun that way. I get to see what happens. No, I did not survive the first time. I think I was either sent home or killed. I think I was sent home. It wasn't too bad of an ending. All right, on to, let's see. I have 2 kind of 3.5 stars, almost 4 stars. The first one is the first book in a trilogy called 13 by Trisha White-Priebe and Jerry B. Jenkins. It is a YA Christian fiction series. Oceana, over on her channel, recommended it to me, and so I read the first one, which is called The Glass Castle, and I gave it 3.5 stars. I am intrigued to continue the series. I think, honestly, I listened to it as we were driving to our vacation last week, and so I was pretty exhausted, so I think I may have missed a little bit. So that's why I think I gave it 3.5 stars, because I was a little lost in some parts, but it ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm interested to see what happens. So I will continue that. But it is about a girl who is 13, and she ends up being kind of kidnapped, mistaken for an orphan, because all 13 orphans are kidnapped and brought to this castle for a specific reason. And I can't say that because that's probably a spoiler, but there is a specific reason why they are kidnapped. And it's kind of interesting to see like the friendships and the enemies a little bit. I'm interested to see, hopefully, that some of the friendships will develop more. And we do see her reading her Bible, which is nice in the story. I know Jerry B. Jenkins has written a lot of Christian fiction, and so it's nice to see kind of that going on in the background of the story as well. And I'm interested to see kind of more of why these children were kidnapped. Like, I kind of have an idea, sort of. So I hope that it will be even better to continue on with that. And then the last 3.5 star that I did, I listened to the audiobook. Was it on the way there? Yeah, it was on the way there, and I think a little bit on the way back. But it is All About Me by Mel Brooks, and I don't read a lot of memoirs. Steve and Me by Terry Irwin is one of my favorites, and I honestly would have given this one 4.5 to 5 stars, but I do know that a lot of his movies are very kind of rude and vulgar humor, so I've either have had to fast forward a lot through his movies. No, we probably stopped them, honestly. We stopped them, or I just don't watch them because his humor can get pretty vulgar. But he is the creator of one of my absolute favorite TV shows and one of my absolute favorite movies, both of which are very clean. So he is the creator of Get Smart, which is a 1960s TV show, one of my absolute favorites, not the movie starring Anne Hathaway, the TV show starring Don Adams. It is genius. I love that TV so much. It is so much fun. So he created that, and he also created one of my favorite movies, which is called The 12 Chairs, and I believe you can still find it on YouTube. So go check it out. It's just called The 12 Chairs. You might have to look up like Mel Brooks movies or something on YouTube, but it is one of my and my dad's favorite movies of all time. It is so funny and so much fun to watch. And yeah, so a lot of his movies are not great and I wouldn't recommend them, but those two, TV show and movie, I will highly recommend, especially since they're both clean. So I liked the first half of the book, and there wasn't a ton of swearing until there really wasn't a ton of swearing in it at all. There was a few like closer to the end of the book, but it wasn't too bad. But I liked the first half of the book better, as it talked about his childhood, his years in the military, and his first couple of years in comedy. And I kind of liked it like up until like the 12 Chairs, and he was talking about that movie, and then like Young Frankenstein a little bit because I've seen that movie once or twice. It's okay, but it's weird. But then yeah, as the newer movies came up, I wasn't really invested in the story. So I think the first half of the book was 4 stars. The second half of the book was like 2 stars, almost hitting on 1 star. But so it kind of averaged out to a 3 star. And that's how I got my rating for that one, apparently. But it was fun. I liked the audiobook because it's narrated by Mel Brooks. And I think he loved telling these stories and loved sharing his life and everything. And I liked his Army Day stories the best, honestly, and his childhood stories a lot. Okay, so 4 stars. Let's talk about a new author. I believe that this is his debut novel. It's supposed to be a series. The second one's coming out maybe this year. I don't know. But it is called YESHUAS Thief by R.E. Addison. Excuse me. I need water. But I gave YESHUAS Thief 4 stars. It was good. So it's about one of the thieves that was on the cross next to Jesus during his crucifixion. And it's all about kind of his son's life and how his father stole a jeweled dagger, and he told his son to hide it and never sell the dagger. Well, he ends up selling the dagger later on. I think it's like a few years later. But I believe before he does, he runs into Yeshua, Jesus. And Yeshua tells him, do not sell the dagger because someone's life will be taken because of it. And so, and he is supposed to return it, but he ends up selling it. And yeah, so it's a very good story. And I read 2 Nancy Drew books so far this month. I plan on reading a couple more. I read Danger Down Under by Carolyn Keene. They're all by Carolyn Keene, but they're all pseudonyms. So I read Danger Down Under, which was 4 stars. This is about Nancy. I believe it's Nancy and George. I don't think Bess is in this story. But Nancy and her friend George. And also, I believe, the Hardy Boys. So it was a Nancy Drew Hardy Boy super mystery. and you find them in Australia, where they are searching kind of for like a lost tablet stone with writing on it from the Aborigines, and it was good. It wasn't 5 stars though. I have a feeling it might be more down to 3 stars. It was good, but I thought I would like it more because I always love stories about Australia. But it was fine. It was a Nancy Drew book. I tried to be more critical with Nancy Drew books, as there are a lot of them, and you can't just give every one of them 5 stars. Okay, so the next 4-star that I had was Bob by Wendy Mass, and this book was so cute. I loved this one so much. So this is about a girl named Livy, and she has not visited her grandmother since she was 5 years old. And she goes back to Australia, another Australia story, when she is 11 and comes back to visit. And she can't really remember anything about visiting her grandmother, and she just has this feeling that there's something in the house. So she goes upstairs and she opens a closet, and inside she finds a little green creature in a chicken suit. And this little green creature has been waiting for her for over 5 years, because she told him to wait in the closet until she returned. And she did not remember him at all from when she was 5. And we come to learn why she doesn't remember, which is a really interesting part of the story. I will not spoil that. But they're trying to figure out who he is. Like, what kind of creature is he? He thought he was a zombie at first, but he looked in the dictionary and he wasn't a zombie. But it was cute. It was a cute story. And I listened to the audiobook, which had 2 narrators, a girl and a boy, for Bob and the girl. And it was just really, really cute. And she helps him find his way home. It was cute. It was heartwarming. Yeah, I highly recommend that one. That one was cute. And then the only 5-star that I had so far this month was At All Costs by Carolyn Keene, another Nancy Drew Hardy Boy super mystery. This one takes place, I can't remember what state it is. I can't remember. I'm trying to remember all the details. I do try hard. To remember everything. But this is about a company that is setting up some winter sports and hoping to get a bid to have the Olympics take place in this state. But a lot of destruction goes on. A lot of bad people are kind of putting explosives and stuff to stop the company from ever getting this bid or something going on. So there's a lot of espionage going on, and there's a lot of skiing going on. I don't ski, but it was fun to read about. I always wanted to, but I know I'd hurt myself. But it was a fun read. That one was definitely more high intense versus Danger Down Under. A lot more action going on, and I think I really enjoyed that one. It's probably one of my favorites so far. And I think that's all the books that I have to talk about this month, or so far this month. There will be more at the end of the month, but for now, a nice short 20-minute video is better than a 40-minute video. So I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you all in the next video.